It's another top five matchup for the Buckeyes this week as the Indiana Hoosiers are 10-0 for the first time in program history. But that comes with controversy as much as it does with excitement. And that is because this will be the first real test for Indiana, as Ohio State is their only ranked opponent all season. But the Buckeyes give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I think the first thing is that I don't think their players get enough credit. I think coach has done a great job, and they've done a nice job this year. But the players are the ones who play, and they have good players, and they've done a nice job of changing their roster. They're upgrading their roster in certain areas. I think they play very hard. They are well coached. They take care of the football. They cause turnovers. They play well in special teams, and their best players play on special teams. Like for instance, their top running back is back there as a protector of the punt. And which does a lot of things. Like it shows that special teams are important to them, but it also makes you be aware that hey, there's a running back there when you're punting. So I think there's a lot of things they've done, but you can see that they've been very successful in everything they've been looking to do in terms of installing a culture, in all three phases, and so. It's going to be a great challenge for our team. We're looking forward to it.
The strength of schedule benefits the Buckeyes for several reasons. It helps the CFP committee making their rankings, but it also has given them the experience going into their third top five matchup this season.
I think our guys have done a great job of identifying the things that early in the season we need to do a better job at, and so this will be a great challenge for them and a great test to see where we're at. I think our guys are excited to play in this game. It's a very good challenge. They have a very good team. They have good talent at the receiver position, and so I know our guys are excited for the challenge. And I think you've seen improvement in different areas, but again, this will be a great test for them.
Ohio State has been on the winning and losing side of those big games, but it's taught them to make the right adjustments, and they get this one at home.
I think it'll help a ton. I think we've seen it from both sides. From how to what not to do and what to do. I think we learned from that Oregon game going into the Penn State game and how to finish a game. But I feel confident that we've seen it, we've done it. We've been in these big games. I've played a lot of them myself. And this year this team is seasoned. I think we played in two of these games now, and this another big matchup game. But what we say is it all boils down. It can come down to one play, and we gotta be ready for whatever. Gotta have a great week of preparation and just let everything take care of itself.
There's no doubt what Curt Cignetti has done. He's done a remarkable job turning the Indiana football program around in just his first year. But he doesn't have any doubt in it either. He's been vocal about his confidence in his team, but Coach J is not fazed by the remarks. He says, yeah, coaches have to motivate their team.
Well, everybody has to motivate their team, and certainly when you feel like you have good players, then it certainly gives you confidence, and I think he's done a great job of instilling that. But ultimately, this is always about us, in our preparation. Every week we try to keep the same routine and focus on us. Now you got to know your opponent. It's very, very important to know their tendencies and what they do. But in order to be consistent week in and week out, you got to keep the same routine, and that's about our routine. That's about our focus and what we need to do, and all the different core values that we believe in terms of winning games. And that'll be the same this week.
Cignetti has been great at recruiting transfers to build out his team, and Coach J has done the same in supplementing his veteran cast with transfers of his own. He says the key to sustaining that comes down to culture.
Yeah, I think what's unique about this situation is that Coach Cignetti came over from James Madison and brought a core with him, so there was already a group of guys that knew the culture, and then he integrated it with those guys, had some success early, and then it's just kind of grown from there. And I think that's a winning recipe. I think when you come in, without having guys who know, your culture, that's a little bit of a different approach. And for us, we want to make sure we're retaining as much of the roster as possible on a yearly basis, knowing that that's not possible to do with everybody, but to keep the culture alive and make sure we're recruiting the right people for our program. But every program has their own philosophies in a different situation and has to respond appropriately. But at the end of the day, it's about having a team who believes in what you're trying to get done as a program, and then also wants to play for each other. That's the thing about this team here. Like they're not worried about individual accolades or anything like this, especially late in the season. Like, they're focused on winning, and they want to play for each other. When you have that, you have a chance.
When Will Howard transferred from Kansas State, he immediately got to work and what he says was the hardest offseason he's ever had. And he credits Coach Mick for building that in the weight room.
For me, I feel like a lot of it just had to deal with consistency. And I feel like everything that I had been told was that I'd shown flashes of everything. I'd shown flashes of throwing the deep ball well, but hadn't been really consistent. I'd shown flashes of throwing on the run well and making good decisions on third down in pressure situations, but it wasn't all the time. And I feel like coming here was like, how can I just be as consistent and as mature as I could possibly be? And I think that's really where my game has evolved, is just the consistency part, and just trying to be take things one play at a time and not trying to be not trying to make things happen, just letting it happen. I think a lot of it's been the coaching that I've gotten here, and just the different things that they emphasize, and the things that Coach Kelly and Coach Day are hard on me for are a little different than what I've been coached on for in the past. Like just my footwork and making sure that everything's timed up the right way, and that I know everything that's going on on every pass play, and I have a plan, and I have guys I'm looking at. I think just in every way my game has gotten better, and I attribute that to the coaching that I've gotten and just the competition I've gotten to go against every single day.
How much does footwork factor into that consistency, being able to be able to work back to all blows out of it?
A ton, yeah. It's a lot of it. I mean, obviously it's not all of it. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think that it's a big part of it, and I think that as consistent as your feet can be, and it gives you a firm base, and as long as you have those feet underneath you, you're able to time things up well, you're able to be on balance at all times, like things like that, little things that you don't even really think about when you're watching tape or you're just a normal fan watching. Things like that are super important.
I think the first thing is he's got a command on how we're trying to run our offense. I think he's got a good handle on protection, the run game. But I also think, he's seeing the route structures and how we do things, and progression is better. I think his footwork is timing up better with the routes. I think he's got a good handle on our receivers. He's learning, more and more about third down, red zone, 2-minute, and that's really how you win games as a quarterback as you start to continue to get higher and higher levels of football. So I think a big part of it is preparation. Not that he didn't do that where he was before, but you just see it growing each week.
That culture has shined through in the selflessness we've seen on this team. Coach Day and Will talked about the offensive line, making their adjustments, and how they're excited to face Indiana's top 7 scoring defense this week.
I think they're doing a hell of a job, man. I couldn't say enough good things about them. I really don't think they've skipped a beat. Everyone's talking about how different it is and how we're shuffling guys around, but to me it's the same group, man. It's the same group of O linemen. Maybe it's a new face here and there. Carson's playing guard now. Donnie's playing tackle. But Carson's played a ton of football. Donnie's played a ton of football. They've had to adapt to their new roles. But I never skipped a beat with those guys, man. I'm so proud of them and how they're kind of meshing into their new roles and taking over. Kind of the confidence of it, and I think they really started. When we started running the ball in that game on Saturday, it was really that O line just kind of started taking over, and when those guys are able to take over a game, like we're gonna be hard to beat, I'm proud of those guys, man. I just need them to continue to maul guys up front and play the brand of football that we want to play, and I think they're doing a heck of a job, and I'm excited to see what they do in this big matchup, because they know they got a challenge, but I'm excited for them.
Yeah, this is going to be a great challenge for the offensive line. I know they're excited about it. It's a very good and productive, and they've like you said, put up a lot of numbers and done a great job. They're moving every snap. They're penetrating, and they do a nice job with it. So I think our guys are excited about the challenge, and the game's going to be won up front.
Ohio State has a strong defense of their own, allowing the fewest points in the country. But Jim Knowles doesn't allow you to compliment his defense. He was told that they have not allowed a single touchdown in the third quarter this season, but keep that quiet. He doesn't want them getting complacent.
How much of that is would you like
be insulted. I think it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I'm more used to that.
He gives credit to the veteran experience for their ability to stay strong down the stretch.
Yeah, I feel like we have veteran players who, you can make adjustments with. Who, there's always a flow to every game, and teams come at you early with different things, and it's just football. I mean, you can work all week on something and not get it at all. So I feel like our guys are veteran, and they make those adjustments. They get into the flow of the game, and they know more what to expect, and they can meet the challenge.
The Buckeyes credit Curtis Rourke for what he does for the Hoosiers.
Extremely efficient, calm in the pocket and very efficient. Makes all the throws, gets rid of the ball quickly. In that type of offense, he's very smart and figures out, where the holes of the defense are and takes advantage.
Yeah, no, he's played good football this year. And, he has, athleticism and can, make guys miss and run. And you've seen, obviously, the numbers that he had leading into the season. So, we got to make sure we're playing it honest. But I think he's, played good football this year. The numbers speak for themselves, and he's very accurate in what he does, and he knows what he's doing. He's played a lot of football, so he's an experienced guy. So again, great challenge for our team.
Yeah, I haven't watched him a ton. I knew he, was a great player coming out of Ohio. I know Will Kazmarek played with him there. It has nothing but good things to say about him. I haven't got to watch him all that much, but just looking at his stats, it seems like he's been really efficient, really smart with the football. Does some good things. So I know our defense is ready for the challenge, and they know they're going to have to be disciplined. And I know. Curtis, he's good at taking the checkdowns too, and he's a smart player, and he does what he has to do to keep the chains moving. So, as much as we can on defense, we're gonna have to, stop them on third downs and keep the ball in our hands and not let them, control the possession, too much, because I think that's something they want to do. But I haven't watched him a ton, but got a lot of respect for him and what he does.
Curtis Rourke will try to challenge them this week as he's the second in the country in passing efficiency. Right behind him, Will Howard.
Only stat I look at is the win and losses, man. I don't really care. But that means I'm playing good ball, and if that means I'm taking care of the football and distributing it well and getting completions, then that's a good thing. And I think stats like that, I don't really focus on them. They kind of come. You just kind of play my game, take it one play at a time, and if I do my job and I do what I have to do, then that number should look good, and I obviously want to be better, but I think it's solid, but there's still stuff to improve on.
Ohio State took over Wrigley Field in Chicago last week, and the Buckeyes are asking fans to do the same in another one against fifth-ranked Indiana.
I'm excited, man. I hope that and I'm confident that Buckeye Nation's going to show up. But if I can say anything, man, we need y'all. We need Buckeye Nation to be loud. I know it's a noon game. Obviously, everyone has their thoughts on that. But man, look, it's when we're going to play. So show up, be loud, because we've played two of these games in opposing road games, and this is the first time that we're able to host a game and have that advantage of the the crowd noise and the environment be on our side. So I'm excited to use that advantage. I really haven't felt like we've needed it yet at home, but this Saturday we're definitely going to need it. Top 5 matchup. We want to overwhelm them with noise and be the loudest, hardest place to play in the country. And we say that we want the shoe to be that place, but we need to come through and be loud, and I just encourage all of Buckeye Nation to show up, be loud, be early, and because we're gonna need you guys, and you guys are the best fans in the country, so let's do it.
Ohio State and Indiana face off at Big Noon. Yes, another noon game.
We're going to approach every game the same way, and it's going to come down to our leaders leading the way, and using the experience that they've had late in the season the last few years. And I think that's one of the things about this team is that these guys have been through, multiple seasons together. And so, it's easy to lose focus, when you're young on, what's going on, and, across the country, or what's going on in the future, what's going on in the past. The most important thing is focusing on what's going on right now. And we got a top 5 matchup right here at home, and we got everything on the line, opportunity to go to Indy, reach our goals. So, we'll talk about that in the team meeting today, but I know our guys are focused. Started on Sunday night, had a great Sunday. Those guys, we're getting some extra work in here on film yesterday, and so we have a great week of practice though.